So my name is Christopher Stanke. I am Brent's brother, for those who do not know.
No way. He loves you.
Alice and I have been married 10 months. Yeah. And we met actually in the 18 to 20-somethings group.
We met right there.
That table, that exact table. Look under it, they were signing it.
It was toes and doors.
And I'm Allison Stanke, and I'm married to him.
I'm Megan Hauser, and it's actually my name now because I changed it this week.
Congratulations.
We've been married 2 weeks longer than them. So.
Over 10 months.
And we met in a Christian organization on our college campus called InterVarsity.
And I'm Tim Hauser.
David and Marina, we have been married 39 years, 8 months, and 7 days.
So far, they're
And we met in college our freshman year.
We're Curtis and Danielle. I'm Danielle, he's Curtis. We've been married 22 years, together for 25, and we met at a job.
Like I knew that God just drew us together. Because I know sometimes it could be well, I'm trying to find the perfect person for me. Well, God drew me to her. And she is the perfect person for me in that sense.
I have a diagram, it's a triangle. So person A is here, so we'll say that's Chris. And person B is here, and that's me. And then at the top is God, Jesus. And the analogy I've always been told growing up is, okay, so we're all here living our little lives at the bottom of the triangle, and God's at the top. So technically, the way that our lives should work is we're pursuing Christ more and more every day. And the one, or the person you're meant to be with, as you get to know them, each of you will be drawing toward Christ together, and ultimately in union and marriage, you'll be one before Him.
Because there's an incredible significance to finding somebody, and once you actually get married and you say those vows, that they legitimately are in front of God, the one. Like, in God's eyes, by saying your vows together, you are officially with the one.
Having people that you see that are in good relationships, or people who are older than us and have more experience in their marriage, other people we can go to and ask these questions. Because who you spend time with is a lot of times who you're going to end up like, and that's the same with who you're dating and who you're going to be married to.
The secular TV and the movies and all have normalized premarital sex. You know, that the idea of coming to your wedding night as a virgin is like there's something wrong with you if you do that. But I think you have to just see what the devil is doing. You know, his goal is not to give you more fun, it's to ruin.
It is not easy. You know, I mean, standards were different back then, but it's still, the sexual draw is not easy. But you just say, we've just committed to each other and just said, we're not doing this.
You definitely have to have trust. And if you're going to make that commitment to grow together, if you don't have trust and communication, then you could fall apart at the top. So, you know, it just kind of leads into that spiritual connectivity and trust.
So we're very spiritually connected when it comes to making Christ center. We don't do anything, if it doesn't feel good, we pray about it and we walk away till God directs us. Or we'll go to someone to get it.
We make each other very accountable too.
Yeah.
If something was presented that wasn't quite godly, you know, we kind of be like, hey, you might want to go back to that devotional.
Yeah.
You know, so we
Especially
keep each other accountable and we're honest with it.
Especially in an argument, it's like, you didn't read that devotional.
I spend time with the Lord together, and by myself, and he spends time with the Lord by himself. And usually on our day off, we do sit and have a cup of coffee and talk about our week and what we've learned from the Lord. But each day, if something strikes me, I'll talk to him, and if something strikes him, he'll talk to me. and it's an ongoing conversation.
I wouldn't want to say I'm like lukewarm or anything, but I, like just figuring out this whole working thing and trying to be super dedicated and be super successful has truly taken away from really honorable time with the Lord. So Megan, on the other hand, has started this, what is it even called? Eat This Book? Eat This Book. And right, so she's doing this is every day when she's walking, she's listening to her Bible, and she's providing that example for me to remember, hey, it's time to not be so stupid lukewarm, right? It's worth it. The Lord is worth following. So those boundaries that you set up, though, anyway, that's my point. Those boundaries that you set up, the actual dedicated time, the disciplined time that you take together is what's going to actually push you forward in your life.
When I married Christopher, I found out that when I would like get super intense, he would like totally clam up and like it did not go well. So I was like, oh, geez, like Jesus help us kind of thing. And what we found out was that at the root of anger, whether that be passive aggressive tendencies or explosive tendencies, is hurt. So what we found was whenever we were looking at a conflict, one of us is hurt, or one of us has hurt the other person. So being able to take the 10 minutes to calm down, relax, pray for God to show us what is the root of the issue, where's the hurt in this, and then being able to come together, talk about it rationally has been huge. And sometimes you can't resolve it right away because you're too heated up. So you put it away, you tie it up in a bag, you just kind of set it there, and come back to it when you are able to rationally discuss it. So getting a hold of our emotions has been super helpful for dealing with conflict, and it's been a work in progress, but it's much, much better.
You know, you're a sinner marrying a sinner, what it really boils down to, and there's going to be double sin, you know, that you have to really confess and ask forgiveness for. So I think it's just at this stage of the game, when you're dating a person, understand that even at that stage, you're probably going to have conflict. That's not a reason that you should say, well, forget them. You know, it's just normal.
Conflict's actually good. Conflict is actually good because it gets out what you're trying to say, but how you do it is the good or the bad.
But sometimes Megan and I argue about how we're arguing. It's just so stupid. Like in the heat of the moment, like I just get so prideful that I can't see past myself. Like it's all about me and all about winning and like I have to be very careful because like just like what David was saying, your extended family, the history of what happens in your family, like sometimes in people's family, parents did not fight in a healthy way and it made children scared, right? Mm-hmm. So I have to be very careful about that, right? Because the way that I fight could be construed by Megan and as like something unhealthy and something like that I'm saying, I don't really love you. Like you can't do that, right? You have to be, you can't just let your prideful number one get in the way.
There's can be good conflict too, which is like a whole new concept to me. And something that Tim started from the beginning is saying that just because we're like having conflict or fighting or disagreeing doesn't mean I'm going anywhere. And just that constant reassurance that like we're in this for the long haul and that we can have conflict, but we're still married. And we're gonna still be married. And we're gonna fight about what cereal to get. And we're still gonna be married.
It makes the worst kind.
The worst kinds.
My guess is that most of you would like to be married someday. You'd like to have a marriage partner that you can trust. And I believe that God would give that to you. But it's not going to happen if you cheat. You will find yourself on a path that will lead to compromise, and you won't have that dream. So my word is, follow what God says. He really knows what He's talking about, and He means the best for you.
If you're out there and you're seeking someone, you have to make sure that your heart is right with God. If it feels good while you're dating, it's good, because that means that you're following God's plan. If you're not, God's already got our plans mapped out for us.
Whether you're single or you're in a couple, good people who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to be honest with you and call you out on your stuff. Because those are the type of people that you want in your life.
A lot of what we talked about involves being proactive, like being proactive in prayer, being proactive in reading your Bible, being proactive in conflict, being proactive before you get married to set up habits and just disciplines to take you into marriage. And while in marriage, you continue those disciplines and setting up habits that take you into longer marriage.
Have fun. Have a hobby together. We love the mountains. We love hiking. We like whitewater rafting. We like that kind of stuff. Have fun. Do things.
Believe the best in the other person's intentions is because that's applicable within marriage, but that's applicable within like a job context or friend context. Is just believing the best in the other person, because when you're in a fight, when you're in an argument of some kind, it's like you could always say, this person's out to get me, or something like that. When you move down to the fundamentals and you think like, this person, like Allison loves me, she wouldn't want to do anything hurtful towards me, is that when you believe the best, or when you think that the other person's thinking out of your best interest and believe the best in their intentions. Yeah.
And don't rush. That's another thing I think I would say is God has a plan for you, single, married, whatever, and He is good. And being single is great. Being married is great. I mean, don't force something just because it's easy or because it's there. Make sure you're pursuing God and listen for His voice.